Yo, what's up, guys? It's Zander. With just a couple weeks left in the NFL season, I wanted to do my best cosplay of a detective and see if we can find a fraud. Today's suspect is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who up to this point has a 10-3 record, the number 10th ranked offense, and the number 5th ranked defense. And I know what you're asking me. Zander, are these stats real? Are they really this good? That's what we're going to find out today. So let's go on a deep dive and see if the Steelers can really win the Super Bowl this year, or are they just frauds that have only played bad teams? So to this point, the Steelers have only played 4 teams that have a winning record, this being the Ravens, Broncos, Chargers, and Commanders. And they haven't lost any of them. They've won every game against the winning team. But how did their offense and defense actually play in these matchups? Did they beat them because they are the better team, or did they just have a better day? Let's take a look. Starting off with the first game against the Broncos, and honestly, the Broncos started off really cold this season. This game was Bo Nix's first start. Justin Fields was in, so I don't think this is a great look at how the Steelers have been playing. Though we did see the defense completely stifle the Broncos, holding them to just 2 field goals, and the Justin Fields offense being able to win games for the Steelers. But this team with Russell Wilson in is just completely different. It's not the same team at all. So yeah, this game against the Broncos really doesn't show us a lot about how the Steelers have been playing, except for the defense. We know the defense is very good. So let's move on to the second winning team they played, which is the Chargers. In this Chargers game, it's pretty much the same story. The Steelers defense ate Justin Fields alive, holding the Chargers' elite offense to only 10 points this game. And Justin Fields on the offensive side of the ball was just able to do just enough to be able to win this game and beat the Chargers. So honestly, after this, the Steelers were able to skate by until all the way till week 10 without playing a winning team. In this span, they did lose 2 games. They lost to Dallas and the Colts. So how did the Steelers lose this matchup with 2 teams we know now to be completely terrible? Well, in the Dallas and the Colts game, it's pretty much the same story. The other team got up to an early lead, and Justin Fields in the second half was able to do just enough to make the game close, but not enough to win the game. Especially in the Colts game when he scored 3 touchdowns after halftime, but it just wasn't enough to break the deficit that they had put themselves in the first half by scoring 0 points. So knowing that, let's just skip to when Russell Wilson is in, because that's the more important thing to look at, because Russell Wilson is going to be the quarterback realistically playing in the playoffs. Now, in Week 10, the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Washington Commanders in a great game. We know the Commanders to be a good team, so this is a good test of how they are playing. Russell Wilson in this game threw 3 touchdowns, and Najee Harris added another one on the ground, winning this game 28-27 against a great offense and a good defense in the Washington Commanders. Now, a weakness we can identify in the Steelers, starting at this game in particular, is that they allow long touchdowns. They don't allow fluid, continuous drives, but they do allow breakaway plays, which is bad. I mean, you have a number 5 ranked defense allowing 27 points to the Commanders, who are a good offense, but they're not elite. So it is worrying to me how many big touchdowns were allowed by this defense. And this is going to be a continuous story you're going to see in the other games we look at. They're just allowing big touchdowns, not continuous drives. But having a big bounce back offensively with Russell Wilson in this game, I'm just saying, if Justin Fields was in this game, they would have lost. But with this big offensive bounce back, the Steelers are looking exciting at this point. Now, the very next week, they played the Ravens at the Ravens in a slug match, just a defensive slug match. They won this game 18-16. Which is kind of worrying that the offense failed to score over 20 points against a playoff team. But what is exciting is that they were able to hold the Ravens offense to just 16 points. And I think that's because the Steelers defense is very strong on their run game, but they're not too good on the pass. They have one of, if not the most solid D-line in the league, and they're able to stop the run easily. But against a better playoff team that has more rounded passing and rushing offense, I don't think they'll be able to do good. They are getting torched by the pass. But the defense played solid this game. They were able to stop the pass all over the field against Lamar Jackson, and even stopping a go-ahead touchdown from Lamar Jackson to Flowers, and just winning the game off of defensive's back here. Now, a win I want to talk about is when they played the Bengals. This is exactly what I'm talking about from this defense. They allowed the professional Eminem impersonator, Joe Burrow, to score 3 touchdowns and 300 yards. 38 points he put down on this defense. And this is what I'm talking about. They just allowed the Bengals to score on big play after big play after big play. And this Bengals offense is what a good offense is going to look like in the playoffs, and they absolutely trampled them. And you may say, hey, Zander, the offense scored 44 points in this game, the Steelers offense. But like what I have to say to that is that the Bengals defense is horrendous. They're not going to be able to put that 44 points down on a playoff team. They would lose this game against any other playoff team, which that is the biggest reason that I think this team is a pretender. Now, let's go over this team's strengths. Obviously, the strengths are Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, and George Pickens, 3 elite players to have on your offense. Najee Harris and George Pickens are almost already over 1,000 yards on the season. Obviously, Najee Harris's numbers being overinflated because they were a more run-heavy team with Justin Fields, and George Pickens being deflated because of the same reason. Now, Russell Wilson, up to this point, has 12 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions. He's doing a great job of scoring points and not turning over the ball. He is elite right now. And nobody's talking about Donte Johnson having 5 interceptions on the year. Like, holy freak. Their cornerback, Donte Johnson, is playing out of his mind. And it's the Steelers, so they always have a good D-line and O-line. Now, the biggest weakness I see in this team is obviously that their defense allows big plays over and over again. Their secondary can just not hold up against the big plays. Now, next week, the Steelers play the Philadelphia Eagles in a big game. And if the defense is able to lock in and contain the Philadelphia Eagles offense, I think they can win this game. If they hold the Eagles to 24 or less points, this is a good defense. That'll be good in the playoffs, but we'll see. They also have the Chiefs upcoming on their schedule. If they can hold the Chiefs to a low-scoring game and win that game, the Steelers team, this will be an elite Steelers team. That'll do great in the playoffs. So in my opinion, I think the Steelers team are complete pretenders that they've only played bad teams or they've played good teams on that team's worst day of the year. But I think coming into the playoffs, this team is putting it all together and they can be a great team if they lock in. This is going to be a great cold weather, great playoff team with a good offense led by veteran Russell Wilson and the great D-line led by TJ Watt. They're going to be able to shut anyone down as long as the secondary locks in, stops the big play. This will be a great defense, and the offense will be doing good as well. So thank you guys for returning to another Football Times video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and leave in the comments what you think. I mean, maybe your opinion differs from mine. Just let me know.